Now at this time, please settle down and let us prepare ourselves for a prayer. As I lead the prayer, silently also read the prayer shown on the slide. Observe silence and put yourselves in the holy presence of God. Together, let us pray now. Our loving Father, we thank you for this wonderful day, for giving us good health, as well as for protecting us from COVID-19 virus. Lord, as we have our lesson this morning, motivate us to listen, and may you direct our minds so that we can be able to understand what needs to be understood. And may the learning that we will get today be put in our hearts and be applied in our day-to-day lives. This we ask to you, O God. Amen. Again, good morning. Before we formally start the class, student, let me give you a few reminders so that you will be guided on what rules to follow inside the class. First, be on time. If possible, get inside the classroom 5 minutes before the class will start. Second, do not be absent without any valid reason. Third, keep all things in an orderly manner. Number 4, sit on your designated chair. Avoid transferring from one place to another. Fifth, do not go out when the class starts already. When needed to, ask permission first. When answering, just raise your hand and wait for you to be recognized. Do not make distractions in the class. Instead, be cooperative. Okay, now, let me check the attendance. As what I have observed, it seems that only 3 chairs not yet occupied as of this time. So I believe there are only 3 students who are absent today, and they are Rhea Castro, Naya Sangkupan, and John Miller Sangkutan. Class, make it a habit not to be absent. If only in good health, do not be absent because you will surely miss the very important lesson of the day. And of course, your performance will also be affected. Okay, as we're about to begin the lesson, let me give you the objectives that your students should meet at the end of the class. First, you should identify recycling. Second, students should classify the given articles or things from which waste materials they are made. And third, students should value the advantages or benefits of recycling in the community. Class, now I hope you can be able to meet today's lesson's objectives. At this lesson, let us have a short review of the lesson we have discussed last time. Okay, Julius, what was the last lesson we took up last meeting? Very good. Last meeting, we've talked about the instructions or procedures on how to embroider a t-shirt. Okay, Nancy, are the steps in making embroidery easy to follow? Were you able to do and completely done the required tasks? Anyway, I hope all of you have enjoyed doing your performance task last time. And I hope also that all of you have completed the task and finally have submitted your output. This time, for you to be awakened, first let us have an activity. What you're going to do is to look at the picture shown on the slide and try to identify the word or words that describe them by rearranging the jumbled letters below the pictures. Are you ready? Okay, since you are ready, here's the first set of pictures. After a minute of glance, then answer the question that I'm going to ask. Okay, Jay, what do you call those pictures shown on the slide? Very good. Take this piece of fudge bar with you as your prize. Class, they are actually waste materials. Okay, next, what will happen if these materials are thrown this way? Now take a look at the second set of pictures. Okay, Myla, what can you say of these pictures? You got it right. Here's one piece of cupcake. If these waste materials are thrown or handled not in the right way, probably it will affect our environment by creating pollution. Yes, Chris, you are correct. Get this one biscuit as your prize. Pollution will cause diseases, and this may include asthma, pneumonia, leukemia, or even cardiovascular diseases. Now for the last question. How can you help in handling the waste in a productive manner? For you to have a clue, take a look at this set of pictures. Now anyone who can guess? Okay, John. Very good, John. Get this wafer as your reward. Yes, by recycling, we can be able to minimize or if not eliminate pollution, thus protect people's health by not having any disease. Okay, now to unlock difficulties, let us define few words which I believe very important to better understand the lesson. Okay, first we have recycling. Okay, it is the process of transforming the item which has already served its purpose but is still durable in something that can be used for another purpose. An example of this process is the conversion or transformation of plastic bottle into a plastic bottle vase. Okay, another word is decanter. Decanter is a decorative glass container for wine and other alcoholic drinks. Okay, usually a decanter is used as decorations. Okay, next, quilting. So quilting is a sewing technique in which two layers of fabric, usually with an insulating interior layers, are sewn together in multiple rows of stitching. Okay, another term not common to us is the so-called terrarium. Okay, terrarium is a usually transparent enclosure for keeping or raising plants or usually small animals such as turtles for indoors. Okay, another one is biodegradable materials. So this is quite common, but anyway, to define this one, okay, this is the material which can be decomposed by bacteria or any other natural organism and not be adding to the pollution. Another one is the collage. Collage is a work of art that are made by attaching pieces of different materials such as paper, cloth, wood, or flat surface. Okay, next we have is the paper mache. Okay, it is a mixture of pieces of paper and glue. It can be made while still damp into objects such as bowls, ornaments, or models. Okay, the last one is the so-called tapestry. Okay, it is a piece of cloth with a pattern or picture that is created by sewing or weaving different colored threads onto a special type of a strong cloth. Okay, moving on, okay, I will give you an introduction of the recycling basics. Okay, garbage disposal is indeed one of the biggest problems we Filipino face nowadays. So there are so many things we waste that we just simply throw away, burn, or just take for granted, unmindful of their negative effects in the community in terms of health issues. Now, since our country is of no exception to the world's health crisis brought by COVID-19, we cannot afford to have diseases. Thus, we need to clean the environment and free ourselves from pollutions which may lead us to make us more vulnerable with the other kinds of diseases that possibly will add up to the existing fears, worries, and anxieties caused by the pandemic. With the aim of eliminating pollution by decreasing garbage disposal, the country as well as the entire local community implemented laws such as Republic Act 8749, which is the Philippine Clean Air Act of 1991, and Republic Act 9003, which is an act on ecological solid waste management, both with the intention of protecting the environment by encouraging every citizen to possibly take care of the waste items and further develop something functional out of this. These laws made recycling highly encouraged, became more strengthened, as it is the answer, probably a good answer in the worsening problem of garbage disposal. Okay, moving on. Let us define again what is recycling. So actually recycling is the process of transforming the item which has already served its original purpose but is still durable in something that can still be used for another purpose. Okay, actually there are two types of recycling. First, we have the internal recycling, and the second one is the so-called external recycling. Okay, internal recycling involves the use of materials that are waste products of a manufacturing process, while external recycling is the reclaiming of materials from a product that has been worn out due to constant use. Okay, to continue my discussion about the two types of recycling. So in the case of internal recycling, this involves the use of materials that are waste products of a manufacturing process. And in the process, it does not involve the public. So in this type of typical materials, okay, this includes the use of recycled materials such as iron, okay, steel scraps, aluminum cans, copper, glass bottles, paper, wood, and plastics. So example of this type is the production of copper items results in wasted copper pieces which are melted down and recast. When I say recast, it means giving a different form by melting the materials down and shaping it. Okay, in the case of external recycling, this involves recovery, processing, and reuse of materials from used items, and this requires public participation. An example of this is the collection of old newspapers and magazines for repulping and their manufacture into new paper products like what is shown on the slide. I hope you have understood now what is recycling and the difference of its two types. Okay, moving on, let me present to you the advantages of recycling. Okay, Mary, kindly read the first advantage. Okay, thanks, Mary, for having read it clearly. Recycling indeed decreases pollution. As the dumping of waste is being discouraged, as the waste products have been converted into new items, it follows that pollution decreases. The second advantage is that recycling conserves resources. Why? Is it because recycling often saves energy because the products being recycled requires much less processing to turn them into usable materials? Okay, Kathy, kindly read the third benefit of recycling. Okay, thanks. Okay, recycling enhances creativity and resourcefulness. Recycling truly develops one's ability to create and to be resourceful. With the use of imagination, the person increases the ability to make articles and learn in devising ways and means in making the recycled items. So another advantage is the potential of recycling in making a profitable business. By creating good and high quality recycled items that meet the standard of usefulness, the created recycled items can be offered for sale, thus generates profitable income. Okay, now let's get to know the different articles that can be made in the use of various waste materials. Okay, what do you think are the articles that can be made in using paper as waste materials? Okay, who has an idea? Well, let's us try to identify what is shown in the slide. Okay, paper waste can be used in making paper woven basket, paper mache, paper beads, paper sculpture, boxes for gift wrappings, album covers, and the most common one is the creation of paper bag. Next, the second recyclable material that can be used in the production of different articles is the so-called plastic container. Okay, Joy, can you identify or name what articles can be made out of the plastic containers? Okay, you don't have an idea? Well, anyway, plastic containers can be used to make planters, plant tags, plant sculptures, and organizers. Okay, the next recyclable material that can be used to produce different recycled items or article is the so-called glass bottle. Okay, glass bottle can be used as decanter. Also, it can also be used as storage items. Another, it can be a material for making terrariums, and then the glass bottles can be cut or bent, or it can be used to make glass tiles. Okay, another recyclable material that can be used in making different articles is the so-called fabric scrap. Now, what do you think are the different articles that can be made out of this? Okay, fabric scrap is very important in making first quilts. Second, it can also be used in making rugs. Another, it is very useful in making patchwork projects. Next, in making stuffed toys. Okay, in making hair accessories like hair bands and fabric flowers and collages. Okay, the next recyclable material that can be used in making different articles is the so-called yarn waste. Now, what are the different articles can be made in this material? Okay, first we have rugs. Second, yarn waste can be used in making tapestries. Another, in making embroidery items. Okay, in creating yarn dolls. Or making knitted or crocheted articles like the one shown here, which is the basket. And the last one, yarn waste can be used in making a string art. The last recyclable materials that can be made in making different articles is the so-called tin cans. Now, what are the different items can be made out of this? So first, tin cans can be used as canisters. It can also be used as organizers, planters, baking tins, candle holders, okay, in making kerosene lamps, and lastly, in making metal arts. We might think that waste materials are no longer available, but what we have learned from this lesson, they actually have value. That is why they can be converted into articles which, if creatively made, can be a source of income or livelihood. Okay, class, do you have questions? Okay, since there is none, now you are going to apply what you have learned by doing an activity by group. Now, here is the direction. In a given cartolina, you are going to classify the pictures below and paste them on top of the materials from which they are made. So the group who will get more correct answers within a given time wins the game. Okay, in relation to your activity today, so let us say this is a cartolina. All you have to do is you are going to choose from the given choices, and then you're going to paste your answers on top of the names of the different recyclable materials. Okay, now 5 minutes is almost up. So this time we are going to check your output. Now in checking, so the representative or the member of Group A will check the output of Group B. One member of Group B will check the output of Group C. Okay, one member of Group C will check the output of Group B. And one member of Group D will check the answer of Group A. Now, for the answers, you may refer to the following slides that I'm going to show you. Now, for the paper, so these are the answers. Number 1 is the paper woven basket, and number 2 is the paper beads, or the answers could be interchanged. Okay, for plastic containers, the answers are plant tags and planters. Next, for the glass bottles, the answers are terrariums and glass tiles. Okay, for the fabric scrap, the answers are quilts and hair accessories. Okay, for number 5, which is the yarn waste, the answers are yarn dolls and string yarns. Okay, for number 6, which is the tin cans, the correct answers are kerosene lamp and metal art. Okay, are you done checking? Okay, whose group got more correct answers? So I think Group D, the members got 11 out of 12 points. Now for the rest of the group, those who got scores lesser than Group D, okay, thank you for your cooperation and strive for the best in the next activity. Okay, as a generalization, with the known benefits of recycling in the community, as mentioned previously, like the prevention of pollution, the conservation of resources, enhancement of creativity and resourcefulness, the need for recycling should forcefully be implemented all throughout, as this generally leads to certain goodness to the people. Therefore, individuals, especially the youth, should sincerely embrace this environmental concern of preventing pollution, especially during this time of the COVID-19 pandemic, to protect our health more. Also, let us encourage our creativity and resourcefulness in producing high-quality materials or articles, and make this as a source of income or livelihood. Okay, from my discussion and with the group activity you've done a while ago, so I think each of you is quite ready for a quiz. Now, for your quiz, this is what you are going to do. Okay, as a direction for your quiz, so what you're going to do is simply complete the table by listing down the articles that can be possibly made out of the following recyclable materials. So choose your answers from the given choices inside the box above the given table. So you are given only 10 minutes to completely answer the quiz. Okay, are you done checking? Now, who got 20? Raise your hand. Very good. Let us give 3 claps for perfecto and completo. Now, how about 19? Okay, 10 of the students got 19. Okay, let's give 3 claps for them. Okay, how about 18 and 17. So let's give 2 claps for those who got that score. And then lastly, for 16 and 15, let's give 1 clap for them. Okay, scores below 15. Okay, the next time, try to do better. Okay, pass your paper now. Now for your assignment or enrichment activity, which is to be submitted on February 7, 2022. So the direction is you are going to look around your home and think of at least 5 things that are normally thrown away or disposed of after they have been used for their original purpose. And think of the article into which an item can be converted or recycled. Then complete the table below. An example has been given to guide you. Okay, from the given table, the example there is under the item column. The example given is plastic powder canister. Now, the original purpose of that item is powder container. Now, what are the items that can be made out of that material? Okay, the recycling possibility of that item is saving bank. So, any more question about the instruction and how are you going to answer the assignment? Okay, none? Now, since you don't have question, okay, thanks for listening. So let us love recycling and be environmentally friendly.